Pokemon and Minecraft, what do you get when you combine the two? Get out of here, Cobblemon, you'll get your time. Pokemon Pokopia. Most people completely disregard this game as yet another cash cow spin-off, and to be honest, at first it truly looked as so. But let's hit the ground straight. There are 3 main reasons why Pokopia isn't just your average Pokemon spin-off. Wait, it's $70 that we're gonna go over, and why it may very well be the best Pokemon spin-off ever developed. But first, let's get into the key information you need to know. Pokemon Pokopia is an upcoming life simulation game developed by Game Freak and Koei Tecmo and Megaforce and published by... Phew, how about we give that a rest? In simple terms, you play as a digger who is taking the form of its former human master. Your job? To rebuild a bleak, desolate world that mankind is destroying left in its tracks. At its core, Pokemon Pokopia is basically a simulation game, gathering resources, crafting and building structures, but tailored to its niche in quaint and charming ways. You build cutesy habitats for Pokemon while learning all about the lore that troubles this world. But why Pokopia, Noot? What's so special about it anyway? I've played Dragon Quest Builders and I have 500 hours on my Animal Crossing island. Firstly, please let me see your island. I know it's so 2020, but I'm really interested. And secondly, let me explain first. Reason number 1. Pokopia may be one of the chillest Pokemon games ever created. In fact, it has many elements of a cozy sandbox style experience that really brings in gamers across the genres. The entire game is a low stress discover and build gameplay loop. But how does it achieve this? Well, for one, there aren't any battles. If you're looking for battling, go for the new RPG style of battling in Legend CA. Pokemon Pokopia is all about gathering raw materials, building neat things, and chilling with your Pokemon buddies. It's a very deliberately designed cozy game. Despite this, however, it still manages to be a highly immersive and engaging experience. Being able to see your village grow and grow with your favorite Pokemon by your side, and crafting recipes to unlock new building ideas really keeps you locked in on the game itself. I mean, just look at Pikachu, how is this not adult? For example, resource gathering is designed to feel rewarding, not tedious. You're not endlessly grinding the same materials for hours. Instead, different areas offer unique resources, encouraging exploration without making it feel like a chore. You naturally guide to new areas by just wanting to build something new. The world design also plays a huge role in keeping the game calm. With gentle music, dynamic weather, and soft lighting cycles, Pokopia creates an atmosphere that encourages you to slow down. Sunsets and rainstorms aren't just effects, but moments where the game invites you to pause and enjoy where you are. Even progression is designed specifically to avoid stress. You're not racing towards an endgame or to beat anyone. Instead, you're casually improving your area one step at a time. Unlocking a new building, expanding your area, decorating a new section, helping an NPC open up a shop. Every achievement feels peaceful and earned, not forced. And because there's no constant threat hanging over you, the game becomes something you can play while relaxing, listening to music, or just unwinding after a long day. It doesn't demand perfect focus, it welcomes casual play. And now, we move on to reason number 2, the visuals. Because whether we like it or not, visuals play a huge role in how we experience a game. They shape first impressions, affect immersion, and determine whether a world feels alive or lifeless. For example, a clear sign of a cash grab is a lazy world design. Same map, same buildings, same enemies, just reskin. Pokopia avoids that trap by making every biome feel intentional. Forest regions have different layouts in coastal zones, mountain areas include vertical building challenges, and desert and snow regions even change how you gather and survive. The villages and landmarks as well feel handcrafted. Instead of random structures placed everywhere, locations tell small stories. Abandoned camps, hidden ruins, old bridges, and forgotten settlements make the world feel once lived in. Even more simply, have a look at the art style itself. It's not eye-catchingly realistic, complex, and detailed, because it doesn't have to be. It may truly be one of the coziest art directions for a game, and I'm all here for it. Everything just gives off that feeling of softness, warmth, and invitation, with no sharp colors and no overwhelming lighting blinding you from witnessing peak. Everything just feels like it fits where it truly belongs, and the gameplay itself also makes it very clear what it's all for. Game Freak, please take lessons from Omega Force and work on your graphics. That's actually another point. This Pokemon spin-off wasn't truly developed by Pokemon's usual studio, Game Freak, but instead by Omega Force, and you can feel that difference immediately. It explains why the game feels more polished, why the environments feel more thoughtfully designed, and why the building and exploration systems feel oddly familiar, especially if you play Omega Force's Dragon Quest Builders. Omega Force already knows how to make systems-heavy games feel approachable. They already know how to mix gameplay depth with visual comfort, and when you combine all that with the Pokemon formula, absolute cinema. You finally get something fresh for the franchise. It feels like what Pokemon's potential can be when it's given to a team truly willing to try something different. And that outside perspective is exactly what the series needs. Do you need FRINDS? How do you say that word again? Well, look no further than Pokopia to brighten you up. So finally, the biggest reason Pokopia truly stands out, emotional connection, specifically that between you and your Pokemon friends. For the first time in a long while, this game doesn't treat Pokemon as simple tools, stat sheets, or battle units that you rotate in and out of your party, basically every single mainline game and spin-off to an extent. Instead, it presents them as living beings that you genuinely share your journey with. They live alongside you, help you gather resources, assist with building projects, relaxing the spaces that you create, and react to the changes you make to the world. Not only that, but with their help, you're able to attract even more Pokemon to share memories with. That's why over time, they stop feeling like just assets and start feeling like true buddies. When you improve your area, you're not just chasing progression or unlocking the next feature, you're doing it so that your Pokemon can have better homes, better environments, and better lives. That sense of responsibility and care creates a level of attachment that most Pokemon games simply don't aim for. And this is where Pokopia taps into the same emotional magic that made Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky so beloved. In Mystery Dungeon, Pokemon weren't just teammates, they were partners, characters with personalities, relationships, and emotional weight. Oh, Totodile, my beloved! I named myself Chikorol as Chikorita and named Totodile as Totodile. Funny, right? You remembered them, you cared about what happened to them. Their story stuck to you long after you put the game down. Pokopia brings that feeling back, but in a quieter, more relaxed way. Instead of dramatic cutscenes and high-stakes missions, the bonds forms naturally through everyday moments. Watching a Pokemon help you harvest materials, seeing them wander around a village you built from nothing, or noticing how they interact with their surroundings, it feels personal and it feels earned. Because of this, you're not just collecting Pokemon or filling out a checklist in a traditional sense, you're building a life with them. You're creating a shared space and a shared sense of home. And that's something the mainline games rarely focus on, since it's usually centered around battles, collecting, and becoming a Pokemon Master. But who said becoming a Pokemon Master meant you couldn't cozy up to your own Pokemon? Pokopia doesn't push you towards an ending, it invites you to stay, to grow slowly, and to enjoy the journey alongside your partners. It's less about winning and more about belonging, less about power and more about a connection. And when a game manages to make you genuinely care about the characters walking beside you, that's when it stops being just another spin-off and becomes something truly special, something you'll remember long after you're done playing. So if you're looking to be the very best, choose Legend ZA, but if you're in for the lols and the friends, consider going for the new peak of Pokemon, Pokopia. Guys, I'm genuinely so excited for this one, especially so from watching the reviews that are just coming in. If you're looking for an insight, have a look at some of them and just see how peak this game looks to be. And once again, have a good one and stay in the noot for more.